everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm Garbo, and today we're going to talk about new game modes for Rogue Company, or just changing it around a little bit. So let's go ahead and let's dive into it. For a while now, we've kind of had the same core game modes. I believe it's been over half a year, going on for a full year now, that I feel like that these game modes, or at least the same style of game modes, have been in the game. So our core game modes are obviously going to be Strikeout, Demolition. I believe 6v6 team deathmatch is still a core mode, even though I don't feel like it should be. If they were going to do any type of team deathmatch, it should still remain as the 4v4 game mechanic. But I believe they did that just because, you know, you can get more friends to play. But I don't feel like Rogue Company as a 6v6 format is really what it should be. I believe 4v4 is a nice little fit. Maybe 5v5, but 6v6 I feel is a little too much. So I don't really look at that as a core game mode, nor do I even feel it's part of Rogue Company as a whole. I just feel like this is just added for all the Call of Duty players that, you know, shouldn't be looking at this game as a Call of Duty game. Okay, other than that, we also have Quick Play that has 6 little core game modes that you can play on. We have Demolition, Strikeout, Battle Zone, Extraction, King of the Hill, and Dodgeball. I don't know why Demolition is even considered Quick Play, and to be fair, technically a Strikeout game, if it actually goes back and forth, shouldn't be considered Quick Play either, because those games take about, if Demolition and Strikeout go back and forth all the way to a full game where the rounds is for even teams, it's going to last about 20 minutes, and that's not what you would consider a Quick Play time. I would consider Quick Play maybe like 10 minutes or less, maybe a little bit. I would stretch it to maybe 12, but once you start hitting 20-minute mark or longer, you're kind of no longer in the quick play, the quick time category, you know what I would say. Either way, these are some, you know, game modes that we play. Some of them are better than not. Some of them are better than others, like Battlezone. I believe it's just the worst game mode in the game. I don't enjoy it enough to even have it in the game, and I would honestly like for it to be taken out, but it's here. It's probably not going to go away, so we're just going to have to deal with it with their small little Battle Royale mode that they have for this game. That's, again, absolute bleh. Anyway, so I feel like that we need to freshen things up, or at least do some little things that can make the game better for players all alike, for the new players that come in and for the old, for people that play and they're veterans and they want a real grindy challenge, man. They're obviously they can do something in that ordinary areas. So here's what I'm going. This is my suggestion to it all. So for quick play, if they should do a custom setting where you're allowed to select the game modes that you wish to play in quick play, and those be the game modes that you're in. I feel like the queue pool wouldn't be so huge, and to be fair, everybody's still playing quick play, so like technically people that are queuing with you in the same modes like Extraction or King of the Hill or Dodgeball, if there's 3 people and they're doing that, but they're like they also have Battle Zone in, or they're queued up in all game modes, I feel like it shouldn't hurt the queue pool that bad in quick play. It starts getting like ridiculous if you're only queuing one game mode and you're only wanting to play Extraction. But again, if you're playing quick play, you're kind of playing for the most of the jumble of games. So I feel like that would be a good addition. And again, you can kind of set it to where you're not having to play Demolition if you don't like Demolition. You can have it set up to have it play only Demolition if you don't like Strikeout. Like there's just a lot that they could do there in that area, and it just a quality of life adjustment. I feel like everybody, it'll go a long way for everyone, because again, I feel like that itself, like not being able to decide your modes, it really turns me off for quick play, because 9 out of 10 I end up in a lot of Battlezone games, and I don't enjoy Battlezone. I'll rather play any other game mode over Battlezone. And so when I get Battlezone and I have to play it, it grinds my gears. But again, like I said, if they would allow it, just again, it's not going to be too hard. All the thing they would have to add is the select your game mode when you go into quick play. Like you just have to add one more little thing. I don't feel like that'd be too hard or too much to ask for. All right, back to the 6v6 team deathmatch being a core game mode. I feel like we do need more core game modes in this game, or just maybe some new ones, a little addition. So I'm gonna say that I feel like a core game mode that everybody would actually love for this game, and actually it be a fundamental and fun game, is King of the Hill. I think King of the Hill being moved to a core game mode, or at least like a 4v4 King of the Hill, would be amazing. I don't know about a 6v6 style King of the Hill or 5v5, but like if they would actually make King of the Hill a core game mode, I would probably play it, you know, quite a bit. I'm sure the spawns are still wacky, and they'll need to do some adjustments in the spawning overall for all the game modes. Because good lord, there's moments that people literally spawn on me when they shouldn't be spawning near me at all. They should be spawning on the other side of the map. But I digress from that. I'm just saying, like, I think that would be fun. A lot of people like King of the Hill as a whole, and I feel like that people in general, like new players, if they don't want to play Strikeout or they don't want to play Demolition, I think King of the Hill will be more of a game mode that they know and would fall in love with. Instead of picking the same mode like TDM again, everybody knows how to play TDM. I just, again, if I'm going to play TDM, I can play Strikeout because that's kind of what Strikeout is, except it has a zone that you don't have to be on. Does that make sense? All right. And then there's two game modes that I think will be good additions to this game. And I think it would actually add a little help to the maps. Because there's some maps, for example, like Meltdown, that technically never get explored. And what do I mean by that is, like, there's areas, it's just such a large map that, like, the game modes that are built into the game, for example, like Strikeout, King of the Hill, and Demolition, all have certain game points and objectives that you have to take over, but they're mostly around in the middle area of the map, or more forward into it. So again, Meltdown is so wide that, like, technically if you're defending or if you're on offense, if you could take another 2 or 3 minutes to look around and you can see all the area that you actually do not go, or like just haven't seen, because you don't really go over there to do your fighting. There's no reason to go over there. There's nothing pushing you to go over there. So I feel like some game modes would help that. So, for example, for Meltdown, I feel like a good game mode for Meltdown, and this will also work for larger maps like Lockdown. I think will be a really good map because Lockdown's pretty large. Glacier itself is actually quite big for being on a boat, so it's actually got a large map on it itself. So there's a couple of maps for this. I think a domination style would be really cool. So, for example, the smaller the map, you can do less points of objectives, and then the larger the map, the more points of objectives. So, like, if the map is really small, so let's think of a really small map real quick. I think Icarus is pretty small, honestly. Even then, there's still some points that you don't really see in that area. You could do like maybe 3 or 4 like objective points that are constantly on the map at all times. And then, Team A and Team B are going to try to take over those points. And the goal is to control those points as long as you can. If you control the points, the more points you get. And then obviously up to a certain amount of points, if you obtain that much points, you win the game. So the objective is to control as many points as possible and attain as many points as possible. So if you're controlling, again, if you're on Icarus and there's 3 points, if you're controlling 2 points and your enemy is controlling 1, you're technically getting more points than your enemy. You're getting 2 points per tick instead of 1. Now for Meltdown is the one that I was morally wanting on, but that was an example for a small map. Meltdown is a large map. You could do probably 5 points on that, honestly. You could probably do 5, maybe, 4, just if you don't want to go too far out on too many points of interest. But regardless, you can do pretty much that many points. And then you can put all of them on each end of the map. 1 on each end, and then maybe 1 around the middle. Not really in the middle area, but maybe somewhere around the center area, or maybe around the A side or B side, just depending on where the other points of interest are. But what that will do will open up for people to having to go out to that area, you're having to defend that area, you're having to, it gives you more area of interest because you've never really seen this area, and then you could be over here and it's like, wow, I never even noticed this was on Meltdown. And that would actually, like, I'm not saying it would freshen it up, but I would say it would open up some ideas. And again, having those game modes will actually cause people to go out and venture more of the map instead of randomly playing the game and they just decide, you know what, I haven't looked around the map, I'm going to look around the map and just mess up my whole team instead of helping them. It's just little things like that. I think domination would be a good point, again, because, like, at the same time, again, you're controlling points. That kind of requires the team not to be in the same spot, for example. So if Meltdown had 5 points of interest, technically you could control all 5 points, but most likely you won't, because again, it's 4v4. People are going to be trying to take the points at all times, and 1 point are always going to have somebody not on it. You catch what I'm saying? So that way, people are going to be able to rotate, going to be able to get on the points, be able to move around, and then it just causes a lot of mobility around the map. I think that would be a good addition. It would help out maps like High Castle Omega, High Castle itself. Again, just really large maps, it would help that out. All right, and then the last game mode, I think that would be a good addition. Maybe not a core mode, but I think it would be a good core mode. And it'll also help with the large maps as well. It'll be kind of like an escort mode. kind of have like something moving around the map and you have to protect it. You have to be within the facility and move it from point A to point B. And again, you can have it like move in different areas. Like Meltdown's another good area. It is a very large map. You can make it go down, like have it go down different routes. Maybe you can like just, if they could figure out the AI mechanic around the actual escort itself, maybe they could figure out how to make it like travel in different routes. So that way the game is fresh. Instead of like you're just escorting the same path every single time, it moves around the map and decides to take different routes, but sometimes always still leads to the same objective. And then again, a back and forth. Like one team goes and escorts it for as far as they can, and then once they're unable to or the time runs out, the team switches and then they try to take it as far as they can or take it all the way. Either way, I feel that would be a good mode. It will branch out people being able to explore the map, and again, it freshens up the game a little bit where people are like, ooh, incentivized to like, well, now I got to protect this escort. It kind of has a little like Paladin / Overwatch mixed in with a little, you know, X-Defiance also doing, I think, escort as well. So I think that would be a real fresh. And again, they can totally build around these maps that are like these lanes that we never go down or we never see, or, you know, just parts of the map that we never envisioned. So I really feel like that would bring a lot in, and I really like the escort idea. I think having something to protect and it move around the map and you have to protect it as it moves around to get to where you need it to go is a really great idea. I enjoy stuff like that. Again, it keeps it fresh and it keeps you on your toes. You're not always in the same area protecting the same 2 points of interest or the same 3 points of interest. It kind of just moves around the map and you have to protect it as it moves around the map. Either or, I think all three of those would be good additions to this game. I really feel like that Rogue Company, like, moving forward, needs to step up on the gaming, at least some new game modes, or at least tighten up on the game modes that are already working on, like at least freshen them up, or, you know, work on the mechanics where the mechanics aren't like a little buggy or they don't do little glitchy things while you're playing. Other than that, I really strongly feel that this would make some really fun gameplay in Rogue Company. But y'all let me know in the comment section down below, what do y'all think about a core mode for King of the Hill? What do y'all think about the demolition style? And what do y'all think about an escort mode in Rogue Company? Y'all let me know in the comment section down below. I hope y'all enjoy the video and y'all enjoy the content, and I hope to catch y'all in the next video. Peace out, and y'all have a fantastic day, everybody. Oh, come on, man. What?
Enemies are out of reinforcements.
Their final stand?
Objective lost. Let's get it back. Scared. Defend it. You all made that look easy.
Could you play a game with Switchblade and SLC for me? Yeah, I can play one more, but I'm gonna call it after that, so yeah, that's fine. We'll do that. We almost hit 10k damage that game, but that was actually